Hello, everybody. We welcome you to one more session of English Grammar, and today we are going to talk and discuss about gerunds. Now, what are gerunds? If we talk about this term gerunds, it might sound little complex or little complicated, but to our surprise, gerunds is something we are using very often in our everyday conversations. In fact, we always sprinkle our everyday interactions with a use of gerunds all the time unconsciously. We are not even aware that we are using gerunds in our everyday life. Basically, what is a gerund? It is a verb to which we attach ing, or as we say, an ing gets tacked to its state. And after taking up ing, the verb starts functioning as a noun. Let's consider this small little example. Swim, we all know, is a verb. Tack ing to it. What is the resultant word? Swimming. And swimming is a noun. And how do we use it? Like we say, swimming is good for health. So here, swimming is not used as a verb. Rather, it is used as a noun because it talks about a practice or a hobby or something we do on regular basis. So therefore, swimming is a gerund and it is used as a noun. One more example, walking keeps me fit. Again, it talks about the daily routine walking. So walking again is a gerund as it is a noun. Now, a gerund word or a gerund phrase, it can be the subject of the sentence. So this is for us to understand that gerunds essentially are not only words, but they can be phrases as well. Okay, let's see these simple examples. Gardening is an excellent hobby. So we are talking about the name of a hobby, and that is gardening. So this is example of a gerund word, which is the subject, that is the hero of the sentence. Similarly, even a phrase can be the subject of the sentence, like circumnavigating the globe was Columbus' passion from the beginning. Circumnavigating means going around the world in circles. It circumnavigating the globe. So we are talking about what was the passion of Columbus, and that was circumnavigating the globe, which happens to be a gerund phrase. So therefore, we understand that a gerund word or a gerund phrase can be the subject of the sentence. Similarly, a gerund word or a gerund phrase can be the object of the sentence as well. Like Milkha Singh was famous for his running. See, here the subject of the sentence is Milkha Singh. But why was Milkha Singh famous? He was famous for his running. So here, running is a gerund, but it is not the subject, rather it's the object of the sentence. One more example. They do not appreciate my finding a needle in the haystack. They do not, who are the doers? They are the subject of the sentence. And they do not appreciate what? They do not appreciate my habit of finding a needle in the haystack. So finding a needle, this becomes a gerund and a gerund phrase, which is the object of the sentence. Now, the most confusing thing about the gerunds is like gerunds are not the only words in English language which end with ing. The continuous forms of the verb, that is the past continuous, the present continuous, or the future continuous, all of them they end with ing. The present participles, they end with ing, and sometimes even the adjectives, they end with ing. So what usually happens is that people confuse gerunds with all these word forms, but the main difference between all these participles, continuous forms, and adjectives is that they can never function as nouns, and gerunds can function only as nouns. So that is the most basic or the most fundamental difference between the gerunds and the other word forms which end with ing. Let's try to elaborate this point by using an example. Like running a hotel is easy. So running a hotel, of course, it refers to the habit or to the practice. So running, clear cut, here is a gerund, and it is a gerund where it works as a subject. Let's look at the second sentence. It's difficult to leave a running hotel. What kind of a hotel? A running hotel. So a hotel is a noun and running here becomes an adjective. It is the same word, but it changes its form from gerund to adjective. So it depends on the usage and what meaning is the word conveying. Similarly, I was running for an hour, and here running it refers clear cut to the action. So, so this is a verb, but it is the past continuous form of the verb. The biggest thing that we need to keep in mind about the gerunds is that gerunds, they do not take any specific punctuation marks. They are written in the flow and they become a part of the sentence. But why do we give so much respect? Why do we give so much so much of importance to gerunds? See, the biggest thing is gerunds, they really help us to economize on the usage of nouns. And therefore, it makes our writing very smooth, very clear and seamless. Let's try to understand this particular point by elaborating an example. Let's look at the first sentence. It says, the government will discuss the dismissal of the bureaucrat for his being in association, with the opposition. Well, the sentence is correct, but it's quite a heavy sentence. Heavy sentence in the sense it's difficult for the audience or for the reader to understand. Now we can really simplify the sentence. In this sentence, we're using 4 nouns: government, bureaucrat, being, association, opposition. 4, 5 we are using here, nouns. Now we can really replace this excessive usage of nouns with the usage of gerunds, like the government will discuss dismissing the bureaucrat for associating with the opposition. So a much shorter, cleaner, and a crisper sentence. So I hope you agree with me that gerunds, yes, they need all the respect, they need all the importance, and we should learn how to use them correctly. Okay, now let's try to test our own understanding of gerunds. So please identify whether gerund is a subject or an object of the sentence. Swimming in the lake has been Jane's passion since she was young. So what has been Jane's passion? It is swimming. So the topic of the sentence is Jane's passion, which is swimming. Therefore, swimming here is the subject of the sentence and it's a gerund word. The actress taught us dancing. So, of course, the doer or the hero of the sentence here is the actress. And what did she teach us? She taught us dancing. So this is an example of gerund as an object word. Apologizing to people isn't enough after an accident. So apologizing to people, we are talking about this particular habit or this particular tendency that is being talked about in the sentence. So this is an example of a gerund as a subject, but this is a gerund phrase. She's afraid of dancing. So she's afraid of something, and that is driving. So here, driving is an example of a gerund as an object. Girls are capable of doing smart work. See, the subject of the sentence, of course, is girls. And what are girls capable of? Doing smart work. So doing here again is an example of a gerund as an object. People have a habit of faking an illness to avoid work. What habit do people have? Of course, people is the subject of the sentence. So they have a habit of faking an illness. So faking an illness, it happens to become a gerund as an object, but a gerund phrase here. Being the boss does not solve the problem. So we know something does not solve the problem. And what is that which does not solve the problem? That is being the boss. So example of a gerund as the subject of the sentence. And here we talk about gerund phrase. So my friends, I hope we had quite a lucid and a crisp discussion on gerunds. And since we are armed with this knowledge, we will learn how to use gerunds correctly without confusing them with the other word forms. So happy usage and happy learning.